The deadly terror attack in New Orleans is impacting one of the biggest college football games of the season, with officials postponing the Sugar Bowl at Caesars Superdome yesterday. The game is a quarterfinal in the college football playoff, matching Georgia against Notre Dame. It is now set to kick off today in just over an hour. So joining me live from New Orleans, there at the Sugar Bowl, is national college football reporter with 24/7 Sports, Brandon Marcello. Brandon, thank you so much for your time. So obviously something so major happened yesterday. What are you seeing in terms of stepped up security there today at the Superdome?
Yeah, heavy police presence, law enforcement, FBI is here as well. And know with the media shuttle I took over, a team bus, we had a officer with a K9 have to go around the bus before we're even allowed to get off. The parking garage nearby had multiple security checkpoints, including a police K9. And then once you get to the stadium itself, you have metal detectors, almost like when you go through TSA at the airport to get into the stadium. And then once you're inside, the police presence is incredibly heavy. Law enforcement from the sheriff's office, the New Orleans Police Department, and as I said, even the FBI is here, and practically everywhere you go, it's shoulder to shoulder law enforcement.
So a lot of law enforcement. How does that compare to games, to bowl games that you've attended in the past?
You know, it wasn't all that difficult to get through as far as just time constraints, but I wouldn't say that things really got amped up when you go through security. And I say that just because things have been pretty amped up with security anyway in a lot of stadiums over the years, going through metal detectors, going through like a TSA type line, and of course, having your bags checked and everything like that. And of course, a lot of fans at stadiums and arenas, they're required to bring see-through clear plastic bags. It's the only thing they're allowed to bring in, including women with purses and everything. They have to leave those back at their homes or hotels. And so there's really not a lot else you can do other than literally just inspecting everybody one by one for like a 10-minute span.
You know, and obviously safety is top of mind here. That's why they postponed the game. But, you know, we're talking about fans there. We're talking about spectators. What about the players in all of this? How is this impacting the players? Is it likely to impact the players?
Yeah, you know, I will say going into this game, you know, yesterday they were expecting to play a game, and their team hotels, Georgia and Notre Dame, were just feet away from where this terrorist attack occurred on the corner of Canal Street and Bourbon Street. Georgia's team hotel, in fact, is only about 1,100 feet away from where that truck steered onto that sidewalk and carried out that deadly attack. And so they all stayed indoors for the most part yesterday. Notre Dame conducted team meetings as they would on the day before a game. They even had a team run around in their hotel to kind of keep their legs fresh, but no one left the hotel there. Meanwhile, Georgia, which was actually closer to the attack, just 2.5 blocks away from the attack there, they stayed indoors all day, had meetings, and then right before 6 o'clock, they loaded up on team buses and went to a team practice, as I was told, to the Superdome here later that evening for a walkthrough practice. So both teams mostly handled it the same, but Georgia actually got out of the hotel and went to a practice later that evening after law enforcement swept the Superdome looking for explosive devices.
Wow. Yeah. Last question for you, Brandon. We know obviously the Super Bowl happening there in New Orleans. That'll happen in just over a month. Is there any talk about, you know, potential stepped up security preps, you know, for the biggest game of them all?
Oh, absolutely. They've already discussed that. They were planning that even before this terrorist attack, obviously. And a big question for the city of New Orleans, of course, is the bollard system at Bourbon Street and these other streets that were being repaired since November, that were supposed to be able to go up and be able to stop traffic from entering these streets. They've been under repair since November. They're obviously trying to see if they can get that done, and will get that done before the Super Bowl. But right now, there's kind of a weakness in that area, which may have contributed to this attacker being able to get through Bourbon Street. But as officials here said, those bollards aren't always just on the sidewalks as well. And that's how he was able to maneuver around a makeshift police barricade where a police officer car was there. So you can definitely bet, I'm sure, they're looking at everything and trying to secure things. But the big thing, especially with the locals here, is that bollard system and how it wasn't properly repaired before this all happened on New Year's Day.
Brandon Marcello with 24/7 Sports. Certainly appreciate your time. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.